Since my last Attack Conan video about Mori Kogoro's character analysis, I think I'm more suitable for that type of video. So this time I made another video to analyze an antagonist in Bleach. He is the 5th Espada, Nnoitragilga. My first impression of him is that he's evil, and he's the type most easily hated by the viewer compared to the other antagonists and Espadas in Bleach. That's because he has neither the charming appearance of Aizen, nor the Bushido spirit of Grimmjow, and compared to Ulquiorra, he has no basic respect for women. If there is a ranking of the Espada's popularity, then he is definitely at the bottom. However, it is a tall, evil-looking person like Nnoitragilga who always likes to sneak attack other Espadas or frame others through despicable means, plus the trait of looking down on women that this character has given me the most impression in Bleach. I think Nnoitra's real charm is inside him rather than on the surface. He has always called himself the strongest from the beginning of his debut, and even letting others use their strongest attack on him without him guarding to prove his power. But underneath his powerful and confident appearance is a fragile and despair-filled heart. Compared with the human world and the Soul Society, Hueco is more like the original appearance of this world. The rules here are the laws of natural selection and the weak being preyed on by the strong. Nnoitra, who was born and grew up in such a place, knows these rules very well. No matter how despicable the method is, no matter how many people condemn him, only those who survive can become winners. Through teamwork and friendship, Grimmjow became an Espada, the winner of Hueco. Nnoitra, however, has never relied on anyone to climb to the top and used his own strength. So, he can frame and attack others without any guilt. It's just like what he said. This is a battle. Of course it's gonna be unfair. That which is called battle was a monster originally born of unfairness and intolerance. But even so, he knows that there are other existences stronger than him in this world. He understands that no matter how strong he becomes, he cannot escape the law of Hueco, because there will be one day where he will be hunted by someone stronger than himself and killed. But he isn't afraid. Instead, he looks forward to this kind of battle and death even more. As he puts it himself, I want to be cut so that my breath is gone before my body hits the ground. That's the kind of death I want to have. Therefore, after acquiring the new abilities and wisdom that Aizen gave him, he began to challenge the 3rd Espada, Nnoitragilga, at the time. If he wins, then he can prove his strength, and that men will always be stronger than women. If he loses, he can also put an end to his life of despair. But after Nnoitragilga defeated him, she didn't choose to end his life. Instead, she persuaded Nnoitra and said that ever since Aizen gave them wisdom, they should use this power to do some more meaningful things instead of this meaningless fighting and killing. This sentence, accompanied by Nnoitra's pitying eyes towards a child, is the biggest insult to Nnoitra. From then on, Nnoitra had always wanted to find an opportunity to prove to Nnoitra that he is more powerful than her. Until one day, Nnoitra rescued a seriously injured Nnoitra from a battle and said the most inexcusable sentence to Nnoitra: "Because you are weaker than me." For Nnoitra, this sentence trampled on his past and dignity. Based on the mentality that no woman can have a high position, he even joined forces of Celaya Poro to expel Nnoitragilga from the 3rd Espada position. Ironically, after the plan was successful, Nnoitra became the 5th Espada, but the 3rd Espada was replaced by a woman like Tyr Harabel. Nnoitra has always opposed Nnoitra's idea of protecting the weak, but it can be seen from his behavior that Nnoitra had always been affected by Nnoitra's mindset. Although he still looks down on women in the same way and always has an arrogant attitude, because he is someone who battles as a lifestyle with death as the ultimate goal, he has neither killed Sado, who is weaker than him, nor Ichigo, who is an enemy, even letting go of the woman he has always hated, Nnoitragilga, and even in his fight with Kenpachi, yelling at Tesra to run away. In the anime, almost all the Espadas have their corresponding numbers, Zanpakuto and the symbol of death. Nnoitra's number is 5, a very median number that is not too weak nor too strong. Plus what Aizen once stipulated, that any Espada ranked 4th or higher aren't allowed to release their Zanpakuto within Las Noches. This makes Nnoitra's number a very embarrassing position among the 10 Espadas, since he always likes to call himself the strongest. Indeed, he is the strongest among those who can use Zanpakuto in Las Noches, but this also implies the huge gap between the 4th Espadas and the 5th Espadas. However, the difference in strength doesn't represent the charm of Nnoitra. His true value is reflected in a final battle between him and Kenpachi. Nnoitra and Kenpachi are two very similar people. Both of them were looking for something in battle. One of them knew the fun of fighting and became stronger with it, but the other wants to pray for salvation in this world of despair, and the only salvation is to die in battle. Upon learning that Kenpachi might be the one who could kill and liberate him, Nnoitra used his Zanpakuto, Sacred Screaming Praying Mantis. The word Praying Mantis perfectly interprets Nnoitra's life. As a top predator of insects, it can easily kill other weak insects with its huge sickle, but it will never escape a despair-filled fate of being preyed on by a female mantis. Rather than simply being eaten by those females, it's better to die in the middle of fighting with other creatures. Even if he knows the gap between himself and Kenpachi, he chooses to fight. Even if Kenpachi intends to let him go, he will still choose to fight. Until the very last moment when Nnoitra was defeated, he looked at Nnoitragilga as a child, And remember that Nnoitragilga had once said that Nnoitra himself was like a child, but now their positions have completely changed. When Nnoitra thought about Nnoitragilga, she also opened her eyes and saw the moment of his death. Nnoitra's expression began to relax and closed his eyes as if to flaunt to Nnoitragilga that he had successfully fulfilled his salvation. He hopes this time Nnoitragilga can truly approve of him. Tesra was also observing all of this nearby, feeling sad for Nnoitra's death, but at the same time, also feeling happy that Nnoitra's wish could finally be realized. This is the 5th espada, Nnoitragilga, a praying mantis in despair. To be honest, Bleach's anime is one of those rare anime where the antagonist is more charming than the protagonist. Not only are they strong, but they will also grow and mature under other characters' influences. Everyone's personality and appearance are very unique. Although the ending of this manga is very controversial, its character development can no doubt be considered a classic.